Let's be honest. When you think about changing your life, you probably imagine something dramatic, quitting your job, moving to a new city, a complete identity transformation. But here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Real change is boring. It's not the big moments that rebuild your life, it's the small, mundane things you do when nobody's watching. The habits so simple they seem almost pointless. Today, I'm breaking down 15 of these boring habits that quietly transform everything. These aren't trendy. They won't get you likes on social media, but they work. Let's get into it. Habit one, making your bed. I know you've heard this 1,000 times, but there's a reason Admiral William McRaven opens his book, Make Your Bed, with this exact habit. Here's why it matters. You complete your first task before 8 a.m. That tiny win creates momentum. You've already accomplished something, and your brain registers that feeling of completion. McRaven discovered this during his Navy SEAL training. The bed wasn't about cleanliness, it was about proving you could do the little things right. Because if you can't do the little things right, you'll never do the big things right. Plus, you come home to order instead of chaos. That visual cue of a made bed signals to your brain this is someone who has their life together. Boring? Absolutely. Effective? Without question. Before we move on, I want to share something. A lot of what I talk about in this video comes from books that change how I think and how I show up every day. If you ever want to dive into them, the ones I've actually read are linked in the description. Habit 2, drinking water. First thing, not coffee, not your phone. Water. Your body just spent 8 hours without hydration. Your brain is 75% water, and even mild dehydration impairs your cognitive function. James Clear talks about habit stacking in atomic habits, and this is the perfect morning anchor. The formula is simple. After I wake up, I drink 16 ounces of water. This one habit triggers your metabolism, flushes out toxins, and wakes up your system naturally. It's so boring that most people skip it. That's exactly why it works. The boring habits are the ones most people won't do. Habit 3, reviewing your calendar. Cal Newport, author of Deep Work, obsesses over time blocking. But before you can protect your time, you need to know where it's going. Every evening, look at tomorrow. What meetings do you have? What's the one thing that absolutely must get done? Where are the gaps? This removes decision fatigue. You wake up knowing exactly what your day looks like. No surprises, no scrambling. Most people crash into their day blind. You'll glide through it with intention. Habit 4, putting your phone in another room. Nir Eyal's book, Indistractable, is built on one core principle: control your attention or someone else will. Your phone in your bedroom means you'll check it before bed and first thing in the morning. Those two moments poison your day. Before bed, scrolling activates your stress response. The blue light disrupts your circadian rhythm. In the morning, you're letting other people's priorities invade your mind before you've even formed your own thoughts. Get a cheap alarm clock. Put your phone in the kitchen or living room. Watch how much clearer your mind becomes. Habit 5, writing 3 things down. Not gratitude necessarily, though that works. Just 3 things that happened today. 3 observations. 3 thoughts. Julia Cameron pioneered morning pages in the artist's way, but you don't need 3 full pages. You just need to externalize what's in your head. Writing slows down your thoughts. It forces processing. It creates a boundary between your day and your rest. Keep a small notebook by your bed. 3 sentences. That's it. You're not trying to be profound. You're just creating a habit of reflection. Most people never think about their days. They just move from one to the next. This habit breaks that cycle. Habit 6, reading. 10 pages. 10 pages takes about 15 minutes. In a year, that's 3,650 pages. That's roughly 12 books. Most people read 0 books per year. You'll read 12. That's not a small difference. That's a completely different intellectual life. Ryan Holiday talks about this constantly. The world's most successful people are voracious readers, but they didn't start by reading 50 books a year. They started with 1 page, then 10. The trick is making it so easy you can't say no. 10 pages is boring. It's unsexy. That's the point. Boredom is your friend here. Habit 7, taking a walk. Nietzsche said, All truly great thoughts are conceived while walking. He wasn't wrong. Your brain needs space to think, but you fill every gap with podcasts, music, calls, scrolling. Walking without input is where your best ideas live. This isn't exercise, though it helps. This is mental hygiene. You're clearing the cache in your brain. Henry David Thoreau walked for 4 hours a day. You can manage 20 minutes. No destination, no purpose, just movement. The boredom is the medicine. Habit 8, eating the same breakfast. Decision fatigue is real. Barack Obama and Steve Jobs wore the same outfit daily for exactly this reason. Your morning sets your tone. If you're spending mental energy deciding between eggs or oatmeal, you're starting from behind. Pick something simple and nutritious. Eat it every day. Remove the decision entirely. James Clear writes about reducing friction in habit formation. This is friction removal at its finest. You've automated nutrition and saved willpower for decisions that actually matter. Is it boring? Extremely? Does it work? Ask every high performer who does this. Habit 9. Doing one thing at a time. We glorify multitasking. Research destroys it. Switching between tasks can reduce your productivity by up to 40%. Cal Newport's deep work is essentially a book-length argument for doing one thing with full attention. No tabs open, no phone nearby, one task. When you eat, eat. When you work, work. When you talk to someone, talk to them. This feels impossibly slow at first. Everything in modern life trains you to fragment your attention. Fighting that is boring. It's also how you produce your best work and live your most present life. Habit 10. Going to bed at the same time. Matthew Walker's Why We Sleep should be a required reading. Sleep is the foundation of everything. Cognitive function, emotional regulation, physical health. All of it collapses without quality sleep. Your body runs on a circadian rhythm. When you go to bed at wildly different times, you're constantly jet lagging yourself. Pick a bedtime. Stick to it within 30 minutes, even on weekends. Yes, this means you might miss things. Yes, this means you're less spontaneous, but you'll also be sharper, healthier, and happier. The trade is worth it. Habit 11. Clearing your space. External chaos creates internal chaos. Your environment shapes your mental state more than you realize. Marie Kondo built an empire on this insight, but you don't need to KonMari your entire house. Just clear the visible surfaces before you sleep. Dishes in the sink, clothes on the floor, papers on the desk. Spend 10 minutes putting things back. You wake up to order. Your morning starts clean. This tiny habit eliminates the visual stress that accumulates throughout the day. Habit 12. Saying no to one thing. Greg McKeown's essentialism argues that success comes from doing less, not more, but saying no feels terrible at first. Start small. One invitation, one request, one opportunity that doesn't align with your priorities. Every no is a yes to something else. When you decline a mediocre opportunity, you create space for an excellent one. When you skip an obligation you resent, you preserve energy for what matters. This habit is boring because nothing happens. You're just not doing something. But the cumulative effect is that your life becomes yours again. Habit 13. Reviewing your finances. Money anxiety comes from avoidance. You don't know what you spent. You don't know what's coming. So you just worry vaguely. Ramit Sethi's I Will Teach You to Be Rich emphasizes awareness over restriction. You don't need a complicated budget. You need to look at the numbers. Every Sunday, open your bank account. See what you spent. See what's there. That's it. This 5-minute habit eliminates financial mystery. You can't manage what you don't measure. And when you know the numbers, the anxiety dissolves. Habit 14. Preparing the night before clothes laid out. Bag packed, lunch made, keys in the same spot. Gretchen Rubin talks about this in Better Than Before as reducing decision points. Your morning self is not your best self. Your morning self is groggy and easily derailed. Your evening self can think clearly. Use that clarity to set up your morning for success. This is the habit that separates people who rush through mornings from people who glide through them. It's entirely unglamorous. it's also transformative. Habit. 15, sitting in silence. Not meditation necessarily, not prayer, just silence. Tim Ferriss interviews world class performers constantly, and over 80% have some form of silence practice. Not because it's spiritual, because it works. You spend your entire day in input mode, noise, stimulation, demands. Your nervous system never gets a break. 5 minutes of sitting still, no phone, no music, no task, just breathing and being. This is the hardest habit on this list because boredom is excruciating now. We've lost the ability to sit with ourselves. Rebuilding that ability changes everything. It won't feel profound. You won't have revelations, but over time, you'll notice you're less reactive, more grounded, and able to access a calm that used to be impossible. Conclusion. So there you have it. 15 habits that sound absolutely mind-numbing. Make your bed, drink water, review your calendar, no phone in the bedroom, write 3 things, read 10 pages, walk for 20 minutes, same breakfast, single task, consistent bedtime, tidy for 10 minutes, say no weekly, check your bank, prepare the night before, sit in silence. None of these will change your life tomorrow. That's not how it works. But here's what James Clear understood when he wrote Atomic Habits. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. These boring habits are your system. They're the infrastructure of a rebuilt life. The reason most people fail at change isn't lack of motivation. It's that they're trying to sprint when they need to be laying track. These habits are your track. 6 months from now, you won't be able to identify which specific habit changed things. That's because it wasn't one, it was all of them compounding quietly in the background. You'll just notice you're sleeping better, thinking more clearly, feeling less anxious, getting more done, and you won't be able to pinpoint exactly when it shifted. That's the magic of boring habits. They don't announce themselves, they just work. The glamorous stuff gets attention. The morning routines of billionaires, the productivity hacks, the life-changing secrets. But the real secret is that there are no secrets, just boring habits done consistently. So pick one, not all 15, just one. Do it for 2 weeks, then add another. Build boring, build slow, build sustainable. Because the life you want isn't built in a moment of inspiration. It's built in 1,000 mundane moments you choose to show up for. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, let me know which habit you're starting with in the comments. And remember, boring is beautiful. See you in the next one.